Hey, Cavs fans, did you miss us? Spencer German, Spencer Davies, we're back. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Swear.
But that's right. But we do have some good stuff going on here in Independence at the Cavs practice facility as we got to meet for the first time their first round pick, Jaylon Tyson out of Cal, 20th overall. He seems like a really good dude, and we're going to talk about that. But I actually want to start, Spence, with the fact that Kobe Altman sort of gave away. It's not really a secret, but he's the team hasn't officially confirmed that Kenny Atkinson is their new head coach, but Kobe basically confirmed it because he referenced Kenny as somebody who is going to sort of figure out where Jaylon sort of fits into the offense, and he also mentioned that there'll be a press conference on Monday. So we know that it's official, but just yeah, I don't know that we had a chance to talk a little bit about Kenny Atkinson, but obviously going to be good to get a chance to talk with him on Monday and see what he's going to sort of bring to the table for this Cavaliers team and what his visions and goals are.
Unofficially official, right?
That's a good way to put it.
I think that's the best way to put it because Mike Gansey last night said something about Kenny, and then today Kobe goes out of his way. I know you guys have a ton of questions about Kenny Atkinson, but this is Jaylon's day. Let's save that for Monday, and then we can get to what's going on at head coach. But yeah, Kenny's definitely the guy, and probably ready to go. And Jaylon Tyson was one of the first people that he was in the draft war room with.
I was actually surprised nobody did try to just branch the conversation off into a Kenny Atkinson conversation, but they didn't, and we'll get more of that on Monday. But yeah, it really was, and they tried to make it that way about Jaylon Tyson and what he brings to the table, his background, his story, how excited he is to be in Cleveland. I really thought one of the first things that struck me was when he was talking about his college days under Mark Madsen and just how he would tell him the concepts, the schemes, the systems they were running, and the plays they were running were going to translate to the NBA. So he certainly gave off this confidence that he feels like what his college journey was has kind of prepared him for this. And obviously, I think Cavs fans are very excited to see throughout the summer league and beyond what he kind of looks like and what he brings to the table and how he kind of fits into this big picture.
Yeah, I think the thing that they really were attracted to is that he can play around everybody.
Yeah.
And, when you have a core four that is currently still together, as we talk to this day, and
could be different next week.
Could be different next week. Could be different in 2 weeks. Who knows what's going to happen? But they drafted Jaylon Tyson in mind, knowing that he can play off of guys.
Yeah.
And he's a solid playmaker. He makes plays off the catch. He's not afraid to shoot the ball. He's not afraid to attack. Just instinctually, he's going to have to learn to do that differently than he did in college, because in college, he always had the ball in his hands.
Right.
And the usage was through the roof because he was playing with guys that were, Mike Gansey said that some guys at Cal were starting that were walk-ons.
Yeah.
So he's been playing with guys that weren't necessarily at his level of talent, but now the script is flipped. He's going to the NBA where that's all it is, and the talent is all there. So he's going to have to really adjust to being the guy that's playing without the ball, making sure you're off-ball cutting. A lot of doing that in Kenny Atkinson's system because we know how fast he plays and his teams have historically been. So Jaylon Tyson, that's what you're going to expect from him. He's going to be playing off of a lot of these guys, and who knows how soon he'll crack the rotation, but it seems like they're going to give him a chance to, and we'll see, what Kenny does as far as how deep he goes.
And Kobe talked about that too, just, in terms of what he brings to the table and being able to just help other guys in so many different roles. He was such a versatile player, and I think that's obviously an important thing to note. You will get to see, from a fan perspective, more of what he brings to the table during the summer league.
Absolutely.
And in that, Cavs trying to defend their summer league title from a year ago, so he's going to get a chance to do that. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of takeaways that we can sort of break down as that all unfolds. But yeah, obviously, they're clearly very excited about him. And Kobe also kind of alluded to, hey, do we hope that he can, crack, find a role for himself? That's more of a Kenny Atkinson thing. It's going to be up to him to sort of figure that out. But we hope he can. But he said at the very least, we know he's going to come compete and he's going to try to earn a spot. And that's, I think, what they value more than anything is guys who want to come in, work hard, and sort of have that mentality that, no matter where they are in their careers, they got a chance to play for this team.
And what's the reason they drafted him, Spence? And maybe not the primary reason, but what pushed them to draft him? The workout.
Yeah.
He came in. He was one of the people that he was one of
had
the players
that
had a hurt back. They saw him in person, and Kobe was talking about how much of an impression that left on him. And when you see that kind of work ethic, you see that kind of determination, scratching and clawing, the only way you really can survive in the NBA and in pro sports in general, that's going to give you a leg up on the rest of the competition. And when you hear this guy talk, one, very charming. This dude is very, very much so a witty guy. Definitely going to be conversational and a great interview here for years to come if he's around still. But it's a thing that I think is easy to convince somebody to bring you in, because he's got a way with words. He's definitely confident, and he's not afraid to fail. And I think a lot of rookies don't have that quality about him. And he was talking today like he wants to do it all. He wants to win a championship. He wants to win,
he wants to be all defense.
Defense, rookie of the year. He was naming off all these things. And usually that's a lot of pressure you put on yourself, or somebody else is putting that pressure on you. He wants it. He wants it, and he wants to win, and he wants to do it now.
That blew me away, the way he talked about those things, and he's coming in with a lot of confidence, and he's not afraid to show that. There was also sort of a comical, it was a very comical moment when you asked him about Al Hamilton and
Al Harrington.
Al Harrington. And this is now a funny moment as well. And
good.
And
that's what you get. That's what you deserve. That's what you deserve.
Bringing it up. And he kind of, you asked the question about his relationship with him, and he basically was like, "Who's that?" And then I know you were so
didn't even
cold.
Here's the thing.
You didn't know what happened.
He didn't even do it coyly. Like, he did it like, "Who's that?" Like, and here I am.
Everybody in the room was like sitting on pins and needles, like, how is this going to play out?
Let's just say this. I got a lot of intel on Jaylon Tyson last night coming home from the draft. And, it was awesome to find out that stuff, that he was working out at Impact Basketball over in Las Vegas. Great program. Joe Bunassar and David Amata run that. But it's his relationship with Al Harrington that really stuck out to me, because Al Harrington's somebody who doesn't, I think, get enough credit for those guys in the mid 2000s that really, laid the mold out. He was a stretch four, but he's also somebody that could handle the ball. And Kobe Altman talked about how he raved over Al Harrington, even just as a basketball fan in those early days. And he was hoping that Al Harrington would have been here today for this press conference, because Al is Jaylon Tyson's mentor. He's, is one of the most meaningful people in his career. And so when Jaylon said that to me, I froze, but I was also like, because I was like, I know I didn't ask the wrong question here. And he goes, no, I'm playing. So don't worry, that'll be up on social media.
You can also go, if you want to fast forward through, I want to say it was around like the 16 minute mark. We have the press conference posted, obviously, at the Cavs Insider YouTube channel. So go find that there.
Yeah.
And Spencer will also post it. But yeah, that was a funny moment. But truly, I think that did speak to, you saw like sort of a behind the scenes look into his personality and just the type of player and person that he is. And this is day one of us meeting him, but clearly he's going to bring some energy to this team and to the table. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, as we also get a chance to kind of watch where he fits and what he could do. And back to that point for a second, because Kobe did say, they hope he can crack the starting lineup or find a role for himself, but he's got time, as he's going to be on the rookie deal, to sort of feel things out, adjust, and get acclimated to this level. I did think too, Spence, another thing that was interesting, because we're going to see this more and more, and it's not just the NBA, it's the NFL guys too, guys who are coming out of college and going to the pros. He obviously, Jaylon Tyson, he played at 3 different schools during his college career over 3 different years: Texas, Texas Tech, and then he finished up at Cal this past year. And I know in the past that's been sort of looked at as like a red flag. Why is this guy moving schools? Why couldn't he sort of stay with one coach or one program and develop? And he talked a lot, Jaylon did, about how he doesn't look at it as a negative. And it was about like, learning and going on his own journey as a person and a player. And, how he finally found the right spot for himself, and it was transformative. And I do think, to his point, I think that everybody kind of has their own story and their own journey. And then Kobe sort of followed up with this too. But I think that's just more the norm now. With the transfer portal, with NIL, all this stuff that's happening in college, we're going to see more and more kids going through a similar experience as Jaylon did. And we have to kind of understand, that doesn't mean that they're like a red flag player who can't, suit up for you and be committed. And Jaylon tried to kind of dispel that pretty quickly and say, listen, I already am excited about being here. I'm committed. I'm all in. You don't have to worry about that with me.
Well, there were a number of different things that happened on his journey too. So
there's a lot to the story.
I didn't know if you guys are aware of this, but he was actually committed to Texas Tech initially as a freshman, but Chris Beard took a job at Texas. So he followed Chris Beard to Texas. It didn't quite go as he'd planned, So where'd he go? Back to the place he originally committed to without the head coach that he wanted to play for, and that ended up not working out at all. Just as far as an off court relationship goes, there was a racial component there, all kinds of stuff.
I read that story last night.
Read those stories, but on the court, it looked great. He was playing off the ball and doing those things that I think attracted the Cavs to him. Doing the off ball cutting, making sure that he's doing the catch shoot shots and making sure that he's doing all these things without the ball in his hands. And then what's he do? He transfers to Cal the next year, his last year in college, to play for Mark Madsen, who he gave a ton of credit to. And we know that the Mag Dog, he is somebody who's etched in Laker history as one of the top minds and basketball role players that they had on that squad in that organization. He's been around the block as a coach, as a player, and obviously took over at Cal here recently and really molded him into a nice player. And fun fact, and I don't know this is where it's going to go because Jaylen Brown was taken number 3, but he's the last guy that was a Cal Golden Bear that was taken in the first round. So maybe a little bit of food for thought there.
Fans will like that. Well, guys, I think we got a nice preview into the person and the player that is Jaylon Tyson. And from here, it's all about kind of seeing where he fits on this team. And I think obviously it's a need for Cleveland, needing that wing type role and trying to constantly find the next player that can kind of fill that void. It's a wing league, and hopefully Jaylon can kind of develop into something that can be a consistent presence for them. But as I said, I think the biggest thing is temper expectations a little bit. I know last year it was all about Amani Bates. Everyone was excited. Oh, this guy could really be something. I know now it's a first-round pick, so you have some excitement about that, even though maybe he was a little less known than Amani Bates at the time of the pick by a lot of fans out there. But give it time, and we'll see what he does in Summer League. And then Kobe did say he expects, 82-game season. He's going to play at some point. We'll get a chance to see him in the pros.
And make sure you want to see what he looks like without shoes, because that's what he's going to do when he's out on the basketball floor, right? He's 6'5" without shoes. So, oh my gosh, what are we going to do?
Yeah, it's a very good point.
What's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, Spence and I will certainly have our eyes on Jaylon during Summer League and throughout the summer. And obviously, as we're speaking here, round 2 of the draft is getting underway. You expecting the Cavs to do anything today or no?
Well, Gansey was very, very adamant that they were going to try to be aggressive and get into it today. So, a number of names that are on the board that they probably reshuffled it a little bit. And there were some guys that didn't go in the first round.
Bronny James in play? What do you say?
I'm not going to say yes or no because I don't know.
I didn't mean to make that rhyme either. That just happened to rhyme. Bronny James, what do you say?
Yeah. Is he in play?
What did you say? Is he in play? Yeah.
Go and find it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. But no. I just may. Bronny, I don't know if they would take him where they're, if they were to get back in. It depends. But I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes because I genuinely don't know. And a lot of people have him going to the Lakers for obvious reasons, but there's other teams that might try to. Who knows?
I'm guessing the Lakers are probably where that ends up happening. But I know fans are interested, and that may be a reason to just tune into round 2 of the draft anyway. So anyway, guys, it sounds like we'll be back on Monday with plenty more to discuss.
At this very spot.
Yeah, we're gonna mark this spot right here. We'll be right back at this spot as we get a chance to meet Kenny Atkinson for the first time. We'll talk to him, pick his brain about what he has in store for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we look forward to bringing you that as well. In the meantime, continue following along both at the Cavs Insider YouTube channel and, of course, at si.com/NBA/Cavaliers, where you can find all kinds of different articles about Jaylon Tyson. There'll be some stuff going up from the press conference today, some of his better quotes, some of the things that he talked about. We'll have you covered over there as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Until Monday, when we get a chance to meet Kenny Atkinson, we'll talk to you guys then. Otherwise, take it easy, Cleveland.